Okay, so good morning, everybody. Welcome back to IMU. I'm Leilani.
And I'm Heather.
And so last week I had mentioned that we were going to talk about detergent today. Yay! Just because, I mean, Heather and I are mothers, and we've been mothers for the last 20 some odd years. Between the two of us, I guess technically over 40 years.
Yeah, for sure.
So I want to talk about detergent just because there's so much in our detergent. And the reason I'm bringing it to this forum is because, like I was just saying, we're all moms. So we just discuss everything that would potentially be in your world. Up till now, it's been mostly like about choice, who you can be, and more inner workings and whatnot. But this is, this is all stuff that affects you because the chemicals in the items that we use actually do have an impact on us, and they do affect us. And I think the biggest thing is we take for granted that our skin is actually not just a barrier. It actually is an organ, and it absorbs what we put on it. And so it's incredibly important to be particular in your own behalf and for your family's behalf. What are you putting on your skin? Not just what are you taking into your body, but what are you putting on your skin, because it absorbs through your body and it does have an impact on you. Not only that, they have found that carcinogens are something that you can actually be inhaling.
Yes.
And they have a negative effect on you too. Some of them, even cancerous, they believe have led to cancer. Is that right?
Carcinogen, yes. General term of carcinogen means it can cause cancer. Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. See, and I corrected. Thank you so much for that clarification. So they do have carcinogens, and that's everything from candles that you light in your home, air fresheners, lotions, shampoos, different things, conditioners, hair products themselves. So it's okay to be a little particular, and it's not just because you're being like over the top. It's recognizing that your skin is actually an organ, and anything that goes on it is going to go into your body and become part of your own chemical makeup as well, right? And anything that you're inhaling is going to become part of your chemical makeup. So it's just a matter of taking responsibility for that and getting a little educated about it. I'm not going to go deep into that unless, Heather, you would like to, then I will let you.
Well,
otherwise,
yeah, no, I don't feel like I need to get into a whole detail about that. Of course, if there's any questions, people are more than welcome to reach out to us. I know that the whole watching soaps and creams and detergents and all of those kind of things came into my life, especially when I became a mom, because both my boys had eczema when they were small. And so they would react if I changed the laundry detergent, if I used a certain soap on them in the tub, those kind of things. We found the ones that worked well for their skin at the time. I didn't know anything about muscle testing or energetic type things around it. It was just, this makes my kids' eczema worse and this one makes it better. And so once we find what works, let's not mess with it.
Right. And that's such a good point. That just reminded me, my daughter, Luna, loves bath bombs, loves them, but we can't use them because I found every time. So last Christmas, my older daughter had drawn her for Christmas and bought her like a big container of multiple bath bombs. And she would get urinary tract infections. They would cause UTIs. And now they were so bad that there was separate times that we ended up in the hospital. And I'm not someone who goes to the hospital, but her pain was so severe that I had to take her. And I was like, what is going on with my daughter? And it was a UTI. And that was just from sitting in the bath bomb. And so that's just recognizing how your body absorbs. Granted, I know we have openings down there, but I really never imagined, just because I don't know, because I don't take bath bomb baths, that I just wasn't in my radar, right? I mean, I take apple cider vinegar baths. I take Himalayan salt baths. I don't prefer Epsom salt baths. They don't Heather mentioned the uh, testing, the muscle testing, and it doesn't resonate well with me. Himalayan salt actually does really well for me. So it's identifying, and I'll put essential oils in my baths, but I don't use anything that I buy from the store
Yeah.
in my tub, because it just, first off, it seems like a waste of money because they're excessively expensive. And then to get a UTI from it, I'm like, oh, good, I paid a lot of good money for a UTI. Woohoo! Like, I think it's such a, it's when you start weighing it out like that, you look at it a little different. It's like, yeah, I might enjoy it. What's the payoff? Do I want to pay for that? Because you actually pay for the result, not the product.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And I honestly couldn't tell you the last time I had a bath. Like, I am a shower person and we have a
Mhm.
hot tub. But I mean, the same thing would apply to the hot tub chemicals that you're using, whether you're using chemicals or natural type cleansers or whatever you want to call it for the hot tub, which I hadn't really thought about before, but we have a girlfriend that really kind of pays attention to what they're doing, and they just got a hot tub. And so she was talking about using thieves and geranium and using it in the hot tub as instead of the chlorine or lithium shock or any of that kind of stuff.
Really?
I haven't looked into that yet, but that's what she has researched and they are going to use in their hot tub. So
They're going to try it out and see how it actually works.
yeah.
Interesting. That's
Yeah.
fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Because, we have a pull out back and I'm always looking for a different option. I was that same person who my cousin always made jokes. She was my best friend when we were growing up as well, because I was always looking for an alternative for deodorants because I'm like, they don't feel good to me.
Mm.
I was lucky that I didn't smell as a child, but I also didn't eat any dairy and I didn't eat a whole lot of sugar. So I didn't, because your body basically is just emitting the toxins. So I didn't realize when my parents put us on a super strict diet, or actually they just wouldn't buy this stuff, so it wasn't in our house. So I
Yeah.
didn't have it at my disposal. Um, it it actually was more beneficial for me overall, and that's why I didn't smell. Like, I didn't have body odor.
Right.
Um, Opposed to once I married my husband, and his family doesn't think the same way. And it was with after my second child that I finally really gave in and was like, okay. So I lost my first baby. I went home to Mom Hyam's house. She said, what do you want to eat, honey? And I said, grilled cheese sandwich. And she said, you don't eat cheese. And I said, I do today. Right. Is that, I had just lost my baby. I'm eating freaking cheese. But that was a comfort food from my childhood when I would go to my grandmother's house. And she would make us, and I didn't realize now, she just made us a whole bunch of, there was like 16 children in her house. She was like, cheap fast food. And so she would just put a slice of cheese on, in English muffins, stick it in the oven, melt it, and we'd get tomato soup.
Yeah.
So that was my comfort food. So that's what I wanted after my miscarriage. And then that kind of disrupted something in my tummy. Granted, the emotion stuff as well stirred something up. And then after my second baby, I was like, oh, this cookie won't hurt. It'll be okay. Oh, this won't hurt. And then, and then I'm like 220 pounds later, I was like, what is going on with my body? Just because I kept thinking these little things wouldn't make a difference. And they do, they add up. And it's recognizing that they add up. And even things like going back to detergent, detergent, it adds up. You keep putting that on your body, you keep slathering it on your body, you keep sitting in the bathtub with the chemicals or washing your hair with it. It's going to penetrate and it's going to add up. Now, there are a myriad ways to clear them out, and we're not going to go into that here, but we are going to talk about detergent because I love different types of detergents because I'm always looking for something that is super economical, earth friendly,
And effective.
and effective.
Actually cleans your clothes.
Yes, and effective. And one thing, so Heather and I both happened, and we didn't know this. This is funny because otherwise we probably would have got into it together, but we didn't know that each other used Melaeuca. So this is Melaeuca's laundry detergent. And we're both involved in different directions, but this is their Melapower, and it is actually, I buy the 9 times. Super powerful. My clothes, how do you feel about your clothes?
I don't notice a whole lot of difference from what I was using before, which was we used to use Gain a lot. I I go through less, so for me it's more. Although the product is more money, it lasts longer, so it tends to be more economical, and I feel better about the product, just because of, it does resonate with me as being more environmental and better for me. I don't notice a ton of difference with my clothes. I do think that there's probably less lint in the dryer. But the clothes, is like, yeah, they're clean and they're good. So I'm happy with the product.
Nice. It's interesting that you said that about the lint, because I'm going to talk to you about the next thing that I use. Because I love to try. Oh, while we're on Melaeuca, let's stay there for a minute, just because they offer something that other detergent locations, or I haven't found other detergent manufacturers to create, and that is things like it carries its own brand of like the equivalent of OxyClean, right? And so this is the Melabrite, and it also has it's highly concentrated, so it comes in these bottles. For my family, because I'm washing laundry for 11 people, I'll go through these in a month, but that's to be expected. Am I paying more? Yes, I tried the Eco. No, I don't even remember, because I don't buy it anymore and I haven't bought it for so long. But at Costco, they had this big bottle of Eco, it's called Eco something. And I just didn't feel like it got my clothes clean. Like I would have to run 2 cycles for it to feel like it actually cleaned the clothes and that they smelt fresh. And it was frustrating, because you're already spending the money on the water, on the energy to agitate the clothes. Plus was eating so much time out of the day to monitor laundry. I'm like, oh, I've never been so thankful for my washing machine in my life. I can't imagine actually having to sit at the river and like scrub these suckers. That would be just a nightmare. But this is the equivalent of like an OxyClean or a hydrogen-based cleaner.
So do you use that? What do you use that with? What types of loads? Or do you use it in all your loads?
I use it in everything. I use it in everything. And I always let my laundry soak with this. So I always put this in and allow it to soak for about up to 20 minutes. Well, 20 minutes or more.
Do you have a top loader?
I do.
Or top, yeah.
I do, because I used to have a front loader and I couldn't soak my clothes.
Yeah, we have front loaders, and I'm like, yeah, the soaking's not gonna happen. But I don't have the liquid Melabrite. With the starter pack, they gave me they look like the dishwasher detergent packets.
Right.
So I would throw them in with my whites, because I'm like, I don't need it in my colors, but I'll throw it in with my whites every once in a while. But whether it's our water or how much is in there, whatever, the packet doesn't always completely dissolve. So the liquid would probably be better with our water, right? Yeah. And I find that with the dishwasher too, depending on which house we're at and what the water is like, is the liquid going to be better than the tablets and stuff? Because sometimes the tablets in those little packets don't completely dissolve. And then it's like, well, I should just buy the liquid form of that, because it's going to work better.
See, in my detergent, I've been using liquid for so long because of that problem. Like I used to use powder when I was younger, because it was more. I think
all we had was powder as a kid. Yeah. Like I don't even think there was a liquid option.
But it would get stuck in the clothing and like crust up and get all nasty, right? So one tip, if you do like to use powder, is go ahead and put it in your washing machine before you fill it up with water, that way, and let it start agitating before you dump your clothes in.
Yeah.
So you could put it on a small load just to get the agitation if you're a top loader. If you're a front loader, I don't know how to help you on that.
I don't even know that you can use powders in the front loaders, because they're usually high energy, or like the HE ones, and I don't think there's any powders you can use in an HE. But the other thing, before I got into Melaeuca, I went to, where this person that's been in Melaeuca for a while was talking about all the products and stuff. And I'd heard this before too, that a lot of the commercial laundry detergents have fiberglass in them, which is how they clean. But it also produces more lint because it's breaking down your clothes, and it can be stuck in your clothes and be an extra irritant as well. So,
and of course they wouldn't have to disclose that.
No, I don't think they do. But so whether that's a myth or not, it is somewhat a possibility of how, it's fine enough that you can't see it, but it can sure break down your clothes faster, so that, that's the other piece to look at in your detergents. If your clothes are looking better and lasting longer, it's going to be worth spending a little bit more on your detergent too, right? Rather than, oh, well, I go through socks, or I go through shirts, or I go through whatever because they just don't launder well.
So that's an interesting thing you brought up about the lint, because I did not know that. And I have been using, because I loved this because it seems like my clothes are getting cleaner. However, I have noticed a little bit more lint in my dryer, and that's these.
Oh, you were telling me about those.
So these are Earth Breeze, and I've been really happy with them. They're good for high efficiency. Basically, they work with everything. And I have found they work really good in warm water, cold water, hot water. It cleans very well. But just like you stated, I have seen more lint in my lint trap.
And lint is breaking down your clothes. Like that's where it comes from. It's from your clothes.
It is. And so I find this very interesting, because it does say, we are natural. We're all natural. They're cruelty-free and vegan. They're 1% back to the planet. So they give back. However, it doesn't mean that it's the highest. I do like the smell. They're highly convenient, but the lint thing now definitely has my mind a little, I'm turning a little bit on that, where I'm like, I'm really going to have to monitor that. So I think over the next week, I'm going to go between the two and really notice which one produces more lint, or if that's just pretty standard. But this is how these look. So they're literally just these little sheets, and they do dissolve completely. Like, I don't have
They
any
look
issue.
kind of like something you would never, ever, do not hear me say you should put this in your mouth, okay? But
Like a
it's like those tongue strips for Listerine or whatever. It's kind of like a little thicker than that, but like it would dissolve, right?
Can you see how that is so? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it does definitely dissolve like that. Like, you can tear it if you're doing like a smaller load.
Yeah.
And it tears.
There is no Tide Pod challenge here. Do not put this in your mouth.
Do not detergent. It's not even funny, right? People who do that, I'm thinking, I don't even know.
Oh goodness, that's a whole other topic.
It really.
I'm gonna get into that. Just don't eat it. It might be all natural. It doesn't mean you should ingest it.
Don't act like a toddler. Come on, stop. They don't know, right? But I have liked these, but now I really am going to have to look at how much of my lint, if there's
hang on to your lint for like a week. Use those for like a week. Hang on to your lint. Use the other product for a week. Hold on to the lint. I don't know.
I think I'm going to do that. And the thing is, this also comes in the mail, which is really nice and convenient. I am on a subscription, so I've got a few here. I'm on a subscription for the Melaeuca as well, but I just offset them so I don't have as much coming in now, right?
Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen and I haven't seen this for a while, but of course I don't look at a lot of social media and commercials and stuff anymore, but they used to say every once in a while, take out your lint thing,
trap,
filter, the lint trap, and clean it clean it off, but then try to put it under your tap and see if it holds water or not. Because not a lot, some products will leave a film actually on the lint trap so that air doesn't actually get through it anymore too. And those are probably not the best products for you, but they're also not the best products for your machines.
Right, right. And that makes me think of like fabric sheets, softening sheets. I know that I stopped using those years ago because my dryer would go out. This is before I even knew all that I am aware of now. But my dryer would go out and I would have the guy come and fix it, and he would have to do something with the thermostat inside of the dryer, right? That would heat it up, because what would happen is the dryer sheet would actually create a film over it so it didn't function properly.
Yeah, and I know at Jared's condo that he's living in, so our oldest, they had to, the owner that he's renting from, actually, you sign off that you're not going to use dryer sheets in the dryer. If you want to use a softener, it's a liquid one that you use in the washer. Now, I went years without using dryer sheets, but I'd have them every once in a while because Tyler would stick them in his gym bag or whatever, just to help with that type of odor thing. And then he really started liking to use them in the dryer so that his clothes smelt more fresh rather than just like they're clean. It's like he likes them to have that clean smell. And so the Melaeuca, we do actually have the dryer sheets as well. He uses those because of that. And it's supposed to not have that effect on your dryer. I don't know.
See, and I have not tried their dryer sheets yet, Melaeuca's, but I have been wanting to try them. I just keep forgetting to reorder something else, and I keep getting this, which is great, but this is for the washing machine. And it does work great, and it does smell really good. In fact, my kids love the smell of this. This is the lavender scent.
Yeah, that's the one we usually buy too.
Yeah, and then I also use this one in tandem with the softener, and this is the Boost. So it's actually, I think it's just a scent. I'm looking to see what it says. It's just a scent, and it has things like, just to read the ingredients, it's biodegradable surfactant, which is basically coconut oil derived as a stabilizer, a fragrance, a polymer, a biodegradable defoamer, which is an olive oil derived, and biodegradable preservative. So, I mean, it has very minimal products in it, right?
And the surfactant's going to break down any oils and stuff.
Yeah, but this is just, and this is the Boost. That my kids love this one just because they like the way it smells. I just haven't been able to find the Mountain Fresh, or they like the tropical one. I thought that was the tropical. My biggest problem with the Melaeuca was coordinating all the scents. They have a variety of scented products, and mine was coordinating. Otherwise, I'm happy with them. I do want to try the dryer sheets, and I like what you said about them, because I like them for the same reason. It's nice to take a sheet and just stick it somewhere you want to be kind of fresher.
Yeah.
Even if that's in the bottom of garbage pail in the bathroom, just so it's kind of emitting this smell, or in a closet, because, closets can get musty. I do like dryer sheets for that reason, but I don't like them in my dryer. However, maybe they've thought of that and you won't have the same problem, which I'm sure they have.
I don't know.
Yeah. So another, so we've talked about Melaeucas, we've talked about Earth Breeze. I'll just show you that one again. And that's the one that are sheets. I have to say, if Melaeuca could come out with these little sheets, it would be amazing, because I love them. I love them.
You know what is good about Melaeuca is that they've got the pumps, right? Mm-hmm. You buy these super concentrated, you're supposed to use less, but then you still got to pour it out. And it's like, at least with that, you can get a pump. It's like one pump. And so we were buying Worldwide Group, or Amway, there for a bit to help a family member out, and just try their products again, because, well, I don't say again, I don't think we ever tried them in the first place, but it used to be a big thing back in my younger years. But anyways, they would talk on their site about having a pump or something. And I'm like, where's the freaking pump that I can buy? You could never find the actual attachment so that you weren't trying to pour a small amount of this concentrated stuff in.
Yeah, measurements is a big deal. Like what you're saying is so true. Because if it's concentrated, but you can't figure out how much to put in, it's frustrating because you could be overdoing it. And then extra soap sitting on your clothing is going to attract actually dirt. So your clothes are going to get dirtier faster.
Well, and you're going through more of a product that's more money that you're supposed to be using less of.
Right,
Like,
right.
it's,
And you do have to buy the pumps separately. Like they don't come like
yeah,
I do have a pump.
but they're reusable, right? They're like
Yeah.
$2 and you just swap them out in your next thing. Because that was always my thing too, is okay, so if somebody else is going to do laundry at my house and they're going to treat it like a regular Gain or a Tide or whatever, and they're going to be like, bleh, bleh, bleh. Like, I'm like, no, don't do that, please.
Yeah, just one pump. Just push it down once. We're good.
All good.
Yeah. No, and that's a really good point because, yeah. Originally, the Melaeuca, it also comes back with a drain back cap. And I had bought those where you could put the top on, you could fill it, you could measure it. And then when you put it back on the container, all the excess just drains back into the, somebody threw all of mine away and I had to buy those separately as well. But when they threw the container out, it went with it. And I was like, oh.
When it's a lid like that tends to be what happens. Yeah.
Yeah. So the pump is actually really convenient.
Yeah.
And definitely makes it so you're not using too much. So you don't have to question that. Okay. I have another detergent and I was looking, I had the box, but one of my family members, I think, helped me out. And I appreciate that. But the box is gone now. It's probably in the garbage. So, but this is the next one that I use. That I've tried because I also am looking for, the most efficient thing. And these are drops, DROPPS. They're from Drops. And they're just the little bag of detergent. My biggest thing, and they are highly concentrate as well. So they do a good job, but I don't feel like the scent stays in the clothes. And I do miss that. It does offer, I haven't tried them, like their fabric softener and stuff like that. They do have them, but they're a little pricier as well. And, but I've been happy with, if I'm doing a load for my family, like a large size load, I always use 2. But they are definitely highly concentrated. Like they do a good thorough job of cleaning.
And they dissolve, the package dissolves well in your water.
It has
a really similar packing to what the Boost or whatever it was, the little packets that I have from the Melaeuca. And it's just, I don't think I would go to any product like that again with our water, in that it's not predictable that the containing piece is going to completely dissolve. Right. And then having to redo a load is annoying.
Now, is that because you have hard water?
So we used to have really soft water. We had a softener and everything else, but there was also a lot of because where we are right now, at our other house, we're on a well. So it was pretty soft water, but it came directly out of the ground. Like this was a natural well. Out here, it is municipal water. Okay. So we had a softener attached for a while, and then we were running into issues here and there where it would just be like something was purged in the line. So it would be like irony looking water one day, and you'd be like, okay, we just got to filter everything that comes out of the tap, whatever. So anyways, we got the plumber to come in to do like a cleaning of our whole system and whatever. And we ended up bypassing the softener because there's so much iron coming in before it would hit the softener that we needed to get the iron out. And so anyways, now it's a harder water. So it was more the softer water when that was happening, but now I'm happy with the liquid products I have. I don't know that I would want to even go back to try the pods of any sort, because I don't really a need, and I do find it annoying when I find it still in the dryer. Or
And
in a corner of my sheet or whatever. It's like, oh.
yeah. One thing I did notice about these, just to answer that question or talk on that just a little bit, is the actual casing, like this plastic, it feels different. It feels different than because it feels like maybe it's a thick glycerin type of thing.
Kind of like
So
a gel cap kind of.
yeah, so that it has enough substance that I'm not just going to pop it when I'm playing with it here, but it definitely I've never seen leftovers of the
Good.
plastic, because it's not plastic or whatever this casing is.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any leftovers. I haven't had that problem. I've been happy with it. Happy enough anyway, but I didn't order it. I couldn't figure out how much I would need. I have no idea how much my children throw in when they do their own laundry. I like to think they're only throwing 1 or 2 in, but anything is possible. Because I would run out. It also was on a subscription, and I would run out of this before the next load. This is the fresh scent. They have a few different kinds. My family's favorite is the lavender, and but these are nice and convenient. I do like them. They've been good, and I haven't seen what you're talking about. We have super hard water here in Utah, but I don't know if it's as hard as having iron coming through. So, like,
Yeah.
but I know that plays into it, and take that into consideration,
Yeah.
For what's causing. And so I also, another thing I do use to soften the water in my my basin as I'm doing laundry is baking soda. You throw a 1/4 cup in, and you're going to soften the water anyway that's actually being used, so you're going to get a better clean. And baking soda is pretty inexpensive. And it has so many other uses. If you don't have baking soda in your home already, outside of your kitchen, bring it in. It's great for your hair. It's great for your skin because of the alkalinization. You can overdo it. You can push your body too far alkaline. You need to find the medium, happy medium. So do your research. But as far as detergents, oh, and I have one more. These are like all things that I've tried, right? These are actually called what's called Soapnuts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So they're called Soapnuts, and they're de-seeded. And I'll show them to you. Sorry, I ordered them online at Mountain Rose Herb, but everything, if you go through Mountain Rose Herb, is about 2 weeks behind, which kind of stinks. Right. So these are the Soapnuts. If you can see, they're like nutshells. Can you see that?
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you do with those?
You throw them in your laundry.
And then what happens to them?
Yeah, then they come through the laundry. It's weird.
So it's like, it helps kind of like agitate your clothes.
So yeah, it definitely helps. Like it's like acts kind of like a scrubber, and they do kind of foam up a little bit. I haven't mastered the quantity that you should put in for washing, so I don't use them really that much. I think
And
I
then
tried.
you gotta pick them out after.
It kind of. So I mean, they dissolve a little. They kind of dissolve, but they are all natural. This is for sure. They have kind of this translucent. I mean, you can see the light through it. I'm trying to hold this.
Wow. Huh.
See how the light comes through it?
Yeah.
And it kind of has like a waxy texture to it.
Interesting.
Yeah, but they're called Soapnuts, and you can actually buy them, and they are all natural because they are, I don't even know where they come from exactly. They come from like a trees or something, because these are called Soapnuts and they are de-seeded.
Yeah.
So it's also, they're organic. Yeah. So there's lots of options out there for cleaning your clothes without carcinogens in them, so that your family stays healthier. I did try the Soapnuts. I've actually had this bag now sitting on my shelf, I think, for about 2 years, because I only used it like 1 or 2 times, 2 or 3 times ish, because it was a little, I don't know that I got the quantity correct.
A little ambiguous. As to,
yeah, there's not a lot of, so you'd have to do some research out there, but there's just more evidence There are plenty of options rather than buying the junk that's going to actually cause irritation or scratchiness or that have carcinogens in them.
And one
as
other
well.
thing I wanted to bring up today, because there are all those options, and the ones that we presented are not the only options, and they're not necessarily the best for you, but is a way that anyone. I was cold today, so I have my blanket on.
You're just wearing red pants.
I know, and I was like, oh, I haven't been at my office yet this morning. It's kind of chilly in here. Anyways, is to be able to actually figure out what detergents and products, and this can be used for lots of different things, but just we'll keep it to the topics of today, is the sway test, which is a form of muscle testing. And so really, let's see, I need to stand up for this. So let's adjust this, see if you can see me. I'm gonna step back. And really, when you take anything and you have the intention, if you've got like your bottle of detergent or whatever, and you just hold it and you're like, you just kind of, feet hip distance apart, and then you just put out the intention, okay, is this detergent, good for me? And you take a breath in, and as you breathe out, you will feel your body move away from the product or towards the product. So, or occasionally you're not going to move really one way or the other, and that's kind of a neutral. But if you're asking, is this good for me? And you breathe out and you go away from it, it's like, okay, maybe this is not the product for me, but let's ask another question. Is this product bad for me? And breathe again, and you may get another no, which means to me, that means it's neutral. You can use it, you can't, you don't have to, it's not bad for you, it's not good for you, it's like neutral, right? But if you are holding something and you're like, is this bad for me? And you get like a yes, then it's like, okay, put it down, pick up a different one. Is this going to be good for me to use? No. Okay, check it. Is it going to be bad for me to use? Yes. Okay, right. And look for things that your body wants to move towards. Okay, and not to say that a product that doesn't resonate with you is a bad product. I have a slippery floor in here. But it doesn't mean it's a bad product for everyone. Okay, it just doesn't resonate with you. There's going to be some things out there that I don't know that anybody would, move towards as a good thing, but they're still on the market. That's a whole other topic. But it's really just finding out what's going to be best for you. And then, you can even be like, well, what is this going to be best for my family? Test other members of your family if there's a whole bunch of them or whatever. But it's kind of and play with it. Play with different things like this apple, this chocolate bar, this whatever. You can totally play with the sway test to just test how your body resonates with the things, the products that you're using, the things you're ingesting, that kind of thing. So very quick review of that. We can get into that another day, but just as another option, because there are so many products out there and so many of them are saying, we're the purest, we're the best for the environment, we're the whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Listen to your gut and grab it in the store, which you can't do with the mail order type stuff. But if you feel like it's a product that is worth a try, order a little bit, give it a try, give it a sway test, see how it goes.
Yeah.
Trial and error.
Well, and you actually, and I like that you bring that up, because I have not always used muscle testing. And it's not that I wasn't exposed to it. I knew it since I was a little girl. My grandfather did it. And then another individual that I knew latched onto it, but I didn't like the way he did it. So then it left a bad taste in my mouth, and I didn't go towards testing at all, but you actually can you can intentionally tune into the product and do the
Yes.
same type of thing, because everything is energy. So you can kind of pull it into your space energetically,
Yeah.
you know, without that sounding a little too odd. But and then you can do the same type of thing. So I'm really glad that you brought the sway test up, because for so many people, I have a cousin specifically that I grew up with, and she and I have always been close. And when I got onto apple cider vinegar, oh God, probably about 25 years ago, you know, when I was like started really talking about apple cider vinegar with people, she was like, "Which one do I buy?" And I was like, "I don't know, you'll know, right?" But I was taking my gifts for granted.
Because you know, yeah,
Because
exactly. Exactly.
right. And so I'm so glad that you brought that up, because there are ways for you to identify, and to you're basically just aligning with your body and letting your body speak to you through this motion and through this movement.
Mhm.
Because whenever you love something, or something is good for you or advantageous, naturally you gravitate towards it. If it's not, naturally you would pull away from it. And that's where the sway test assists with, just helping you to identify. So if you can't get it in your possession, just kind of try to really imagine holding that thing, and then
Yeah,
seeing how your body reads it. This is
for sure.
also great places to start your intuitive awareness and start opening those things up. As Heather, it's like that's where I started, and now she's like freaking amazing. And I'll be honest, she didn't think she was going to be here. I remember in the early days, she was like, "I don't know," and now she's like, "I think and I feel like," and what I'm seeing, and I'm like, "Ah!" It's so exciting, right? Because these gifts and talents are meant for all of us. They really are. They're to help us navigate our life and to simplify it. So
Mhm.
if you're trying to figure out what to use or what to buy or what to eat or whatever else, try the soy test. Try the sway test, but I will caution you, don't talk to everybody about it. Kind of keep it
No,
on the
yeah,
down low, or you're going to sound kooky, until you've created a really good base for yourself where you're like, no, I have found this to be true.
you're gonna let
Um,
other people's doubts get in your head if you start, yeah. Pick your
yeah,
audience. Pick your
yeah,
audience.
yeah. And keep these things not secret, but sacred, right? Just kind of keep them to yourself for a little bit until you've built up. And that's kind of a secret across the board, no matter what you're doing, because there are haters and naysayers. They're not, they don't understand. And so you don't want their advice because they don't know, but you can still love them. So don't put them in a position where you now are having to fight with them or try to defend yourself. Just like kind of protect yourself from that. You shouldn't have to defend yourself. Just stay away from that space.
Play with it. Just play with
Yeah.
it. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. And so with that, I is there anything else you wanted to say, Heather?
I think we could talk all morning, but I think we're going to cut it off for now and leave stuff for another week. And yeah.
I think that's great. Okay. We'll go out. If there's anything you want as far as detergents, then we'll leave those links below. But remember, they were Melaeuca drops with double P, DROPPS, and you can find that on drops.com. These soap nuts, if you want to try those, because I don't know how to do that, but I found them at Mountain Rose Herbs online at mountainroseherbs.com. And then this Earth Breeze, if you want to try those, I found them at earthbreeze.com. It showed up in my Instagram, and so I thought I'd try it. And I do like them, but now I'm going to measure how much lint is actually showing up in my dryer. So
There we go.
with that, love you all. Love you, Heather, and I appreciate you. Mwah.
Love you too.
You guys all have a
Have a
great
great
day.
week.
Bye-bye.